channel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, if I could just get somebody to post in the questions, you got audio and that you can see the nonprofit organization slide view. Okay, it looks like people can hear me, and we're going to go ahead and get started. This is Russell Polo. We're going to be covering nonprofit organizations tonight. So we're going to get into that. So what are we talking about as nonprofit organizations or NPO? Well, these are churches. It could be schools, municipalities. So that could be a town or a city or really any kind of government agency. You know, it could be an appropriate target. Associations, clubs, it could be not-for-profit or simply could be an organization that has some kind of common purpose. And then, of course, charities and foundations are a very big part of the nonprofit target areas. So nonprofits obviously have a challenge. A lot of them operate with shoestring budgets. And, they have a mission to get the word out, maybe to do some fundraising, maybe they have some events they need to run. And they need to be able to figure out how to do that without spending too much money. But our product is a good match for them because we can do so much for them with a very modest budget. And so you've got to keep in mind, how we can help them get their goals. Now, what are the challenges they're facing? Well, they might have limited budget, they may have limited time, may have limited resources, but we have all kinds of ways we can help them to grow. Now, understand there's lots of opportunities. Now, ways we can help a nonprofit is we can help them get their brand message out there with a very well-written website that sets their mission statement very well, can provide membership information, it can provide event details and updates. It can help them connect to the social media posting they may have. They may have some traffic in social media, but the website can help tie that together, or we can do the social media posting for them. And of course, with email marketing tools, they can do a lot to keep their membership or donors in touch with what's going on, or they can send out, please donate email messages, which are another kind of thing coming up. Now, ways that we can help them do that, we have our digital marketing packages, so we can help them, get found in Google, help them do ad campaigns that might be searching towards their target. And we have also, of course, the social media campaigns and digital marketing campaigns. So obviously, if they need to be found in Google based on certain keywords, like say you're working with a charity that does pet adoption, well, they need to show up on that keyword. And so search engine optimization for showing up on that keyword would make a lot of sense. And of course, the website content can be very good for them. And sometimes if they don't have full-time staff, it might be a good solution for them to have the website maintained for them, meaning upgrading to the maintenance solution where the staff or the board of the MPO simply needs to identify what they need to have posted, and it's going to be done for them by MA Web Centers, as opposed to having somebody who isn't a paid employee who has to make changes for them. Now, you have to be careful about time. And, it's very important to understand nonprofits can be a rewarding client and very loyal client and a very beneficial client. They can also be one of the hugest time sucks that you can possibly imagine. And this is because when you're selling to a nonprofit organization, you're very rarely selling to a single decision maker. You're most often selling to an entire committee that's going to deliberate and have questions and come back to you with more questions. And when it comes to building the website, they're going to have the first idea, and they may have second ideas. And when they see the initial draft of the design, they may want to throw it all out and start over. And so this can be extremely frustrating for you as a web center owner to be dealing with a nonprofit. I'm not telling you that in the context of saying don't sell to nonprofits, but I'm telling you that you should be aware of it, because often nonprofits are going to be looking for a discount and the lowest possible price you can give them. And my advice is not to be so eager to cut the price for a nonprofit, because they often are some of the most time-consuming and burdensome clients for you to work with. I've had a number of challenges, including just getting the site sold, where we had a committee that had to meet several times. We had to have a conference call with like 9 members of the church board on the conference call. It was difficult to get that scheduled. And then once it was scheduled, it had to get everybody called in on the webinar so they could all see the demo. And then they deliberated on it for, I think it was 2 months before to make a decision to buy. And so that was just the initial process. And then I've had very, very long delays in the design process, because you might get design ideas from one member of the board, but when they go and show the first prototype of the website to the rest of the board, they may have all kinds of different ideas and thoughts, and so you may find that that's not the right way, or it's going down a different path, and so the design team's got to take a step back and revise it, and it can be very frustrating. And so I'm just warning you that you need to be aware that these are some of the pitfalls with nonprofit organizations. But in doing this, you're going to rely on our teams of professionals. So we have the sales support team. So they're there to do the demo, to show the product to the nonprofit organization, maybe the chairperson, maybe the board, or whoever it is that needs to make the decision. They're going to be able to show it to that person. Design Center is going to be able to build it for them and be able to interact with them. But I have often found it's very important that you are available to help that dialogue, because the Design Center needs to get updates and feedback from the nonprofit organization. If they don't have the information, the site can get stalled. And so it's important to make sure that process continues. And of course, the customer care can be very good. This allows the members to call in, support the site. And so I have a yacht club as one of my clients. And there are multiple members of the yacht club who have editing privileges on the website. Any one of them can call in and get tech support on how to make changes to the website. This is very beneficial for them, because they don't need to call me to get those changes made. They can get when they're having challenges on how to get something to lay out on the site, they can call tech support and get that help to build the site. But it's also on you to make sure they know there's options available, and to make sure they have it set up so that the multiple members are able to sign in and make the editing on the site. And there's all kinds of group permissions and privileges that can be configured to do that. And of course, digital marketing and solution teams can maintain any Facebook campaigns or posting that's being done on their behalf, or getting them optimized for showing us up in certain keywords as they may need. Now, how are you going to approach this? Well, it's just like any other website. You're going to start with identifying your leads, doing your research, contacting them, doing your consults, and then moving them to the product specialist to an appointment to close the deal. So first, think about who it is that you might know that are the candidates. Who do you know that's a member of a nonprofit? Are you currently a member of a group? Do you know somebody who's a member of a group? Do you get emails for donations from a group that you might think is a good prospect? Are you a member of a church? Does that church have organizations that it runs that may be independent but are supported by the church? How does it all connect? And in terms of, if you're making donations to an organization, that's a good connection to get started, but it doesn't have to be. You could be something that you support them on Facebook, whether it be, the pet adoption, or if it's a chamber of commerce that maybe you have been to some of their events and you should know some of the people there. But the primary thing you want to do is figure out who it is that's in charge and figure out how to contact that person. So you're looking for finding some way to get in touch with the president or the chairman or some members of the board of directors to see what it is that you can do to help them grow their presence online. And the first thing you want to do once you've got some names in that list is go and take a look at their current website. And nonprofit organizations are often very behind the times. They generally will commonly have a website that is not mobile friendly. It is not going to work with the newest technology, which is bad with respect to Google, because if someone searches on Google, they're not going to find mobile friendly sites first. You might find that the site doesn't work well. Maybe it has out of date information, and maybe there's no way to donate or to fund the organization from the website. So look for basically things that you think would be a good site from your own perspective. Do you see it as a welcoming site? Does it answer your questions, or is it confusing? Do you see, do you understand what their mission is, what they're trying to achieve, and how it is that they can help you and how you can help them from a customer, member, donor perspective? And of course, do they have some way to make online payments, to do it either a donate button or a way to check out with a buy a membership or buy a ticket to an event, however it is they're funding themselves. Now, of course, you want to be very aware of how they're showing up in search. You want to be able to search on the organization's name, which that makes sense. You want to show up on the name itself, but also if there are a category of an organization, you want to search for that category and in that town and see if they show up. And if not showing up in that context, so say somebody knows that there's a yacht club in this town but doesn't know the name of it, well, Google should be properly aware that there is a yacht club organization that should show up in that search. And the same thing with whoever the organization is here. Here we have it's a business association, so like a chamber of commerce kind of a thing. And you see they have a lot of events and things on the website. This website is well configured to show up in Google. And then you want to look for reviews and comments. Now, you'll see reviews all over the place. It could be in Google, it could be in Facebook. And if you see, positive reviews, that's good. If you can't find any feedback on it, then that's probably not so good. People are not interacting with the site. And so you want to see, how it is that you can get the buzz going on about them. In the case of the business organization, you want to see other business owners saying positive things about them, linking back to them from their website, referring business to them, because it is a organization that grows on its members' activity. And of course, looking at what they're doing on social media, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was a huge success. We're probably all familiar with this a couple of years back, and this was a big campaign that got them a lot of activity in social media. But they did have a challenge, which was they did not actually turn that into a lot of donations. They got the word out, but they didn't turn into a large revenue. And so it's important if they're having social media campaigns that they're tying those back with some kind of a donation, some kind of a call to action that is something that's going to fund their ultimate purpose. And of course, when you're looking at nonprofits, you want to see if they have a way to donate. It's very important. If they're trying to raise funds, then you want a way for people who visit the website to be able to click on that donate button, or to click through an e-commerce and check out with a donation. Or maybe if it's like an alumni association we work with, they have a annual ball, and so they sell tickets for that annual ball online, and so that's an e-commerce checkout where they do that online. And of course, it's very important for them to be able to see how their online content is performing. And very commonly, you'll find that the organizations have no clue. They aren't plugged into this. They may have you'll even sometimes find the social media page for the site isn't one that they manage. It was simply created by somebody who plugged in the name, and Facebook auto created it. And so they should be able to manage the site and have a ownership of their content, so that they can remove things that are inappropriate and push the word out on what they're trying to promote. And this gives them the ability to see what kinds of activity they're getting online. And so our social media guys can certainly help any organization get the best of their position in their social media. And of course, looking at how stuff shows up on mobile is so critical, because if they're not showing up on mobile, that really can restrict how they get found in Google, can affect the user experience, and it really just adds to their overall presence if they're able to get a good online device that shows up on a mobile phone. And so someone's visiting it can get the answers to their questions and perhaps even donate and everything else they need to do on the mobile phone. This is just talking about, the numbers getting higher and higher. Here it's 70% of social traffic comes from mobile devices. I've seen that even higher numbers for certain categories, and so it's going to be more and more as the times change. And of course, other kinds of tools you can provide to these organizations. Domains and email are very important. They can set up multiple domains for different divisions of what they're doing. And the email marketing is very powerful because they can do email blasts out to the membership. That alumni association we work with, they do a regular newsletter to, it's a couple of thousand members, and they do that through the back office of our website tools. And so they do these the big bulk mailings, and that automatically handles unsubscribes, and it handles undeliverables, and so they have all that handled automatically by the back office for them. And so they're able to do email campaigns and promote what they're doing. And it's important that these sites are able to be current and getting the word out. And sometimes you don't have anybody on staff who's able to write that content. And so we do have the ability to write content for them. So don't forget about the idea of using the text creation as an add-on for somebody to help build one of these sites, to help get the buzz that goes with them. This is a very convenient add-on for really any site, but it can be very appropriate for nonprofit organizations where they don't have any full-time staff who's able to do the content writing needed to market what they're doing. And so once you've done some explanation for what you see on the current site, and kind of in your mind get a picture for what they might be missing, what you see they're not doing, particularly if you're on their mailing list or on their Facebook page, and see what you're not seeing posts by them, or if you're not getting emails from them, that kind of gives you a red flag for what they might be doing that could be more productive. And so then you're going to reach out and contact the organization, trying to find a person who's in charge. Now, if you know who's in charge, that's a good step. You're going to reach out to them and start with regular social conversation. How's the organization doing? If it's something that they are passionate about, they're going to want to talk about it a lot. They're going to talk and talk. And so let them tell you how passionate they are about the program. Let them tell you what the challenges they're facing. And then as the conversation proceeds, get to this next little question. How's your website helping with that? Or is your website helping you achieve these goals? You talked about this event you're running next month. Do you have a website that's helping people sign up for that event and grow what they're trying to do? And more times than not, you'll find that the website they currently have is insufficient to what they're trying to achieve. And then you just need to work into, well, why don't they have a website that's good enough for them? And you'll get answers like, there was not time, or there was no budget, or some challenges. But keep in mind, we have a solution that can work for them with not a lot of time based on their end, and with the ability to hit a very competitive budget that can get them great results online. So you work this conversation. You're looking to get some questions answered. You want to use the 15-minute consultation forms. if appropriate, if you don't have enough information on the site or the organization, and ask the questions from the 60-minute consultation forms to narrow down what are the features that they are needing to grow their organization, and how, what we're not going to answer it during the consultation, but you're looking for how are we going to be able to solve those problems with what packages can we offer them to provide a solution. And so the more questions you give them, the better, because we're trying to get them to ask questions, that will look for ways to fix their needs. But we're not trying to answer those questions during the consultation. We're trying to drive them to the product specialist appointment that will show them a demo to show them how to solve their problems. So we do that consultation, and want to help them, kind of figure out what their short-term and long-term goals are. If they are having a short-term financing challenge, they need to do a donation drive. If they have a long-term goal, which is to grow the number of members in the organization, well, they need to market out to the target membership to see what those potential members could be. So you've got to keep in mind different kinds of solutions might be appropriate for their short-term and long-term goals. Maybe a Facebook campaign for a long-term goal, searching for certain kinds of people to match their niche, and a short-term goal might be email marketing to their current donor list. And so you're trying to figure out how to help them achieve their cause, figure out what they're happy with, and most importantly, what they're not happy with, and so you can know how we can help them achieve the solutions. And what we're attempting to do is to give them something that will reduce their costs, giving them a lot of resources at WebCenters to handle things they wouldn't have the local resources to do, and lets them expand their online presence and gets them, the ability to run events and whatever they're doing online very easily. So we do the consultations, we get the details from them, and we're driving them to, well, of course, we also have other things we can do. If the organization needs to take payments online, well, one of the ways they can do that was iTransact. Credit card processing can be something of a challenge because sometimes banks won't approve a merchant account for a nonprofit. It doesn't have a lot of history. And so iTransact is a good way to set that up because you simply need to establish a bank account, and you have one of the board members essentially vouch for the organization, and they can get an iTransact account that allows them to clear credit card transactions right through the website, or they can also take the credit cards to a terminal if they get that from iTransact and do that in person at events. And so you think of things we can plug into. They can use the e-commerce, they can use merchant services. The credit card can be used for people buying membership, making donations, or any way to grow the organization. And of course, I mentioned email marketing and all the tools they can use to grow the site. And all these, the big picture is to think about these are all tools that can use to grow their organization with the ultimate goal of, getting more results, more income, and having them be more able to support the marketing tools we need them to pay for with our website. And so we schedule them a demo with the product specialist. You've identified what their challenges are, and you make the online referral. If they need an iTransact solution, you can do the online referral at iTransact. And if they need more information about other products, we can show them how to get discounts on shop.com and other solutions. So we book them with a product specialist. We get them into see the appointment. Same script as you would use in other business, but it's going to be tailored to what their specific needs are. So based on what you shared with me, you're wanting to have more engagement on social media, or have a better position when you show up in Google, be able to keep the website current. Whatever it is that their critical need is, then we have a great solution for that. And the best way for them to address this need is for them to attend an online demo where our specialists can show them how it will work. Now, keep in mind, it's important that everybody who's a decision maker should be on that demo, not just the one or two board members you're speaking with, but anybody who's going to be on the vote of whether or not they're going to buy this product should be on that demo. Because if one or two people see the demo and then go and talk to the rest of the board about what they saw, you're going to have a lot of questions come up, questions that should have come up during the demo, and it's going to delay the process or perhaps derail it because people don't understand what they're explaining and what they've seen. Now, We have, and this is right out of the marketing tool. We have what are the potential components we could use for a nonprofit organization, and of course the website itself, having photos and graphics that supports their mission. It could be stock photos. It could be photos that are live from events. If they're running a fundraising race, you maybe have photos from the last race they did. People doing a run by the mile donation kind of thing. And of course, people want to sign up for things, have online forms, and of course, the ability to take donations online. These are all tools that can help them, the website, and of course, being able to run social media connected to the website, from the website, being able to show up properly in Google. These are all tools that are going to help them produce. Now, what are the best recommendations? Well, they're all going to need a responsive website. I'm going to recommend you definitely go with a design package, because unless there's somebody on staff on the organization who's going to be able to do the edits and updates of the site themselves, they're going to have somebody design the site for them. Typically, organizations are going to want a way to clear transactions online, so getting a design that includes e-commerce is a good base plan to have it set up. Now, typically, the monthly membership is going to be enough, because that comes with the e-commerce. The basic monthly membership is going to be a cheaper monthly fee, but if they're going to take donations online, they're going to need to set up some other kind of donate button. It's not going to go through a shopping cart and process that. And of course, for social media, maybe they just need to have their social media site connected to the website, or maybe they need somebody to help them do posts and get the word out. And perhaps they even need to do some marketing to get their events promoted and whatever else that it is they're doing. Now, the thing you don't want to forget is that a nonprofit organization, just like anything else, spends money. And what do we have with Shop.com? A way for people to spend money and get best deals online. So if they're buying office supplies, or they're buying computers, or they're buying bulk printing, we have ways for them to do all of these things through Shop.com, which can earn them cash back and then can earn us IBV. So don't forget to bring these things up as possible ways to help them and their organization. Now, you want to be prepared to get in action and make sure that they see that this is a good solution for them. So you follow these steps, you get the conversation going, and you follow up with them. It can take a long time, but be prepared. Once you get a customer like this on board, usually is a very loyal, very happy customer, because they don't make changes quickly, and that makes it good to makes them stick around a long time as well. And so that's the end of the presentation itself. I guess what I will do is I'll stop recording.